All right, let's talk about multiplying polynomials some more. So, like your first example in your pair deck, we're going to start by distributing with this first one. So we're very used to this distribution that happens. So we're going to start with 6m times 6m squared gives us 6m to the third. 6m times 7m gives us 42m. And 6m times 4 gives us negative 24. And this should be squared. So since there's no like terms here that we can combine, we are done with this one. So let's move on to the next one. Our next one is like FOIL. So we have two binomials being multiplied, and we can just follow our same rules we have been. First, dealing with our first term, then dealing with our next ones. So we have 2v times 6v gives us 12v squared. 2v times 3 gives us a positive 6v. 6 times 6v gives us a positive 36v. And 6 times 3 gives us a positive 18. Then here we do have some like terms with these v terms. So we can combine those two together and we'll get 42v. So that means we can just drag down the other two, 12v squared and 18, to get our final answer. All right, so let's move on to some that we just started talking about today. So just like up with number 2, we can first start off with those very first terms here, or this first term, and then going to our other terms inside the trinomial, so inside these other parentheses. So 8a times 7a squared would give us 56a to the third. Still going with 8a. Now on to the next term, which is 5a. So we have 40a squared. Then still working with our beginning 8a all the way to that last term, which is 4. So we're going to have a positive 32a. So now, though, we still have a 4 down below. So this, or not 4, this negative 2 down below. So we're going to make that negative 2 distribute to each one of those in the parentheses as well. So then negative 2 times 7a squared gives us a negative 14a squared. Negative 2 times 5a gives us a negative 10a. And negative 2 times 4 gives us a negative 8. Okay, so then we're going to look for some like terms. Nothing to go with a to the third. We do have a squared here and a squared here. Then we have another set of like terms with a and a. So we can then combine, or we can drag down this 56a to the third just as normal. And actually, let me change that color on that just so that we know that it's our final answer. So 56a to the third. And then we have this a squared and a squared. So that's going to give us a positive 26a squared. A and a will give us a positive 22a. And then a negative 8 to end with. So here again, we're just sharing them all as they go along, just like in the start. We did that first one, and then we saw, okay, it's going to go to each one of those in there. Then it's going to go to each one of those in there. Same thing here. We started with the top, went to the bottom. This next one, we have a trinomial times a trinomial. So this one will be a little bit different, but still the same exact pattern. So sticking with our same pattern, we're going to start by multiplying that 8x squared by each one of these terms in the second trinomial, or the second set of parentheses. So 8x squared times 4x squared, oh my goodness, gives us 32x to the fourth. Then 8x squared times negative 2x gives us a negative 16x to the third. 8x squared times 7 gives us a positive 56x squared. Okay, so now we're done with that 8x squared. So now we have this negative x. We're going to multiply that negative x through to each one of these in the second set. So we'll have negative 4x to the third, positive 2x squared, and a positive 7x. Then we still have this negative 2. So our negative 2, and let's see, where can I put this nicely so that it fits? I'll do it on the top here. We're going to take this negative 2 through to each one of these terms in our last set of parentheses. So this will be negative 8x squared. Then we also have minus or plus 4x minus 14. And I ran out of room, that's why I'm going down here. Otherwise, I would still keep it to the right of it. All right, now let's do our favorite thing. Look for like terms. So let's see, we don't have any more that are x to the 4th, but we do have x to the 3rd, x to the 3rd. Then it looks like we have an x squared and an x squared and another x squared. And then we have a 7x and a 4x, and then nothing else matches with that 14, so that one will just be dragged down. All right, let's finish out this problem. So we have, that's not what I want at all. Let's do this pen instead. So we just drag down our 32x to the 4th because nothing matches with it. Then we have negative 16 and negative 4, which will be negative 20. X to the 3rd. Then we have squared, squared, and squared. So let's see, 56 plus 2 would be 58. Then minus 8 would be a positive 50x squared. Then 7 and 4 gives us a positive 11x. And then drag down our minus 14. Wow. Good thing we learned how to add and subtract polynomials before we did this. I know that's what you're all saying.